In this video, I will be ranking the albums by Def Leppard. I did a ranking like this last year, but I wanted to update it to include Diamond Star Halos, and I also wanted to include Retroactive, which I didn't include in the last video. You know, considering it is technically a compilation, but I do think it's worth including. So with that being said, I have 12 albums I'm going to talk about, and these are just the studio albums, so let me get right into it. At number 12, I have X from 2002. This one will probably always be at the bottom. I don't really think like they will ever like have anything like lower than this. It's not a really bad album. It's just there's nothing really great about it. It's just a lot of songs are just very like basic Def Leppard sounding songs, kind of forgettable. A lot of songs have a style that's more like the pop music from the early 2000s. So nothing really worth mentioning on this album. So that's why it sits at the bottom. At number 11, I have Slang from 1996. So this has always been regarded as like their grunge album. I don't really think so. I think this one does have some good stuff on it, and they do get heavy on times. The opening song, Truth, that one's kind of like Def Leppard doing like almost like industrial metal. A song, Pearl of Euphoria, this is more like a grunge song. Torn to Dust, that one has pretty cool like Middle Eastern sound. And then there's a lot of other stuff on the album, like the title track Slang and All I Want Is Every Day. Those are okay songs. The rest of the album has a lot of filler, so for that reason I have it at number 11. At number 10, I have Euphoria from 1999. So this is Def Leppard trying to go back to their roots. You know, we have a lot of decent songs. Demolition Man, that's like standard like Def Leppard. Promises, you know, that's something like similar to like Hysteria from that like, type of sound. You know, this is their like Pour Some Sugar on Me type of song. Then they do some pop, they do some funk. There are a couple highlights in here. So Paper Sun, that one's a really good song. 21st Century Shala La Girl, really cool alternative rock song. And they have an instrumental called Disintegrate, which is a really good instrumental, like a really nice hard rock sound. So this album does have some highs, but I have it at number 10. At number 9, I have Def Leppard, the self-titled album from 2014. So this is the band trying some different styles, but they kind of keep their sound very cohesive into that like signature Def Leppard sound. So for example, the opening track, Let's Go, this is a classic Def Leppard from the Pyromania or Hysteria days. So it's a very good song. But then they have some different styles, some funk, there's some ballads like grunge. But I think my favorite like deep cut from the album is called Battle of My Own. And it reminded me a lot of like Led Zeppelin, maybe like Battle of Evermore, like that type of song. I thought that one was a really good one. And I think this album it's very consistent. There's not like a lot of highs and lows, but it is a decent listen all the way through. At number 8, I have Diamond Star Halos, the new one. So this one, it has like some really good highs and some lows. So the first 3 songs, the singles, they're very good. The song Take What You Want, I think that's one of the best songs in a long time. But then track number 4 is This Guitar, it's like a country song. That one was kind of out of place. SOS Emergency, that's a really good song. You Rock Me, that's a really good song. Those are classic Def Leppard sounds. They have a ballad, Goodbye for Good This Time. That one I liked a lot, very heartfelt ballad. After that song, I think the album starts to take a little bit of a dip. You know, a lot of the songs start to get like forgettable after that. But I do have this one higher than the self-titled because when this album is good, it's like really good. And when it's okay, it's just like okay. So for that reason, I have it at number 8. At number 7, I have Songs from the Sparkle Lounge from 2008. This is like both their best album from their later period and like their worst like album title like ever. It has a really good start with the song Go, a very good hard rock song, and actually gets kind of heavy at times. There's a song 9 Lives. This one has Tim McGraw, so it's like a mixture of rock and country. But I think as opposed to the stuff they did on Diamond Star Halos, this one actually did it pretty well because they maintained that signature Def Leppard sound by adding a little bit of like country, so it doesn't really, you know, take away from their, you know, signature sound. Another song, Love, that's a good ballad, really, you know, typical Def Leppard, and pretty much on this album, that's what you're getting. You're getting a lot of like Def Leppard just, you know, doing what they do very well, just being Def Leppard. the album is just very consistent, and I think for that reason I have it higher than the other ones from the later period. Is just that like it's a good listen all the way through. So that's my number six is Adrenalize. This one came out in 1992. This one I bought when it came out, and I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was a step down from their classic albums, Hysteria, Pyromania. It's okay. There are some good songs in it, like Let's Get Rock, that one I like. And I like a lot of the deeper cuts more than the singles. So Personal Property, that's a really good hard rocker. I Want to Touch You, that's a really good song. Tear It Down, that's a good one. But some of the singles are the ones that I didn't like Make Love Like a Man. I didn't really think that's a really great song. And, Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad? That one is kind of like a sappy ballad. So this one does have some highs, it has some lows, but I have it at number 6. At number 5, I have Retroactive. This one I actually never listened to until recently, until I started to do this ranking again. It's technically a compilation. It features songs from, I think they were recorded between like 1983 and 1992 or something along those lines. But this is like the last Def Leppard album you're going to get with that like old school, like original, like old 80s Def Leppard sound. So we got Desert Song, really old school Def Leppard song, kind of a heavy song as well. Fractured Love. This one is very like Pyromania sounding. Another song called Action. That one is really cool. It's like classic rock. Actually reminded me a lot of Queen. Two Steps Behind, I think that's like one of their like best ballads. It has the nice acoustic strumming, and probably one of their like last great ballads. She's Too Tough, really old school, and that's like a really old school, more like from the On Through the Night album. Miss You in a Heartbeat, I think that one's okay, decent ballad. And Ring of Fire, really cool deep cut there. It's a hard rocking track. It's not the Johnny Cash song, but it's their own song. And number 5, Retroactive. This is a really good album. After this, all the albums are like really good. Number 4, On Through the Night. So this is their first album, more of a new wave of British heavy metal type of sound. It's a little heavier, but they weren't as heavy as like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, but there are a lot of good songs here. So Rock Parade, really great opener. Hello America, really cool, like classic rock, really great song there. Wasted, that's like one of their heavier songs. So for example, that's more like a Judas Priest type of song. Then When the Walls Come Tumbling Down, that's really cool. That's like spoken word intro and that like atmospheric like intro as well. And reminds me of Iron Maiden, so that was a really good one. So this is definitely a solid album, but everything from here on in are just like awesome albums. So. And number 3, I have High and Dry. This is the one where they still have that sound from like that On Through the Night, that new wave of British heavy metal sound, but they're starting to like develop that sound which would evolve into Pyromania and Hysteria. But High and Dry is really awesome. Bringing On the Heartbreak, that's a great ballad. And I remember buying this when I was younger. Actually, I had the vinyl many years ago. I used to love Bringing On the Heartbreak. Other great songs. Pretty much the whole album is really good. Another Hit and Run, really great guitar riffs. Switch 625, really good instrumental. And Lady Strange, You Got Me Running. So pretty much a solid album all the way through. And that leaves number 2 and number 1 being Pyromania and Hysteria. So this is really a hard choice for me because I can kind of go either way with these. Pyromania, I remember this one when I was very younger. It came out in 1983. I was about like 12 years old. I used to watch like videos on MTV, so kind of like my first exposure to the band. But awesome album, Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, that one was on MTV all the time. Too Late for Love, that one's awesome. Rock of Ages, that one of course they made like a whole like stage show and a movie about that later on, but awesome song. Action, Not Words. This is just awesome album all the way through. And the other one, Hysteria, this is the one that kind of like was my gateway into like heavier music. I kind of went from like Hysteria to like Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, and then Metallica's Master of Puppets. So this album kind of like, you know, really resonates with me a lot. I used to listen to it all the time when I was like driving to and from high school. I think in my senior year. This one was like in my cassette player, and it didn't leave. So just every song, like it's like almost every song is a hit. Like Hysteria, Women, Rockin' Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Just awesome album, and really all the way through. I think the one song maybe it might be a little weaker than the others, Run Riot, but otherwise Hysteria is all the way through. So if I have to choose, put them in order, my order is going to be number 2, Pyromania, and number 1, Hysteria. So that's it. That's my ranking of the Def Leppard albums, so updated just to include the new ones. So thanks for watching, and I will be back with some new releases this weekend.